Here we are, one of the new garden beds that we rebuilt this spring. Got it planted up in cabbage, cauliflower, romaine lettuce, and a zucchini variety called Black Beauty that does well here in Alaska. I am now amending, top dressing the beds with Juno Compost's compost and some 4-4-4 fertilizer. You'll see it there and further along. And hopefully that'll give these guys a good start. I've interplanted the cabbage and the broccoli with onion starts. This is Walla Wallas. And then in here, in this area, along here, there are radishes which should come up fairly soon relative to the lifespan of these lettuce. So yeah, lots of things to think about while we're doing this. The onion starts are a little over, oh gosh, almost 2 months now. And the cabbage comes from Gastineau School, so the kiddos did that. And I'm just trying to get these plants off to a good start. They'll be covered in, you'll see the hoops. This will all get covered in agribon. Keep the cabbage moth off, and hopefully any root maggot flies on the onions. And while I'm doing this, it reminds me, oh yeah, soil temperature. I always check that as we go. We are now past the 50% chance of frost date. So hopefully with the agribon on it, it'll be warm enough in here that these guys will set some roots and start growing. Lots of things I think about when I'm doing this, especially when these plants are young. They need a lot of care. It is maybe an allegory for what we should be doing with our planet, because there's so many variables here that can or won't, may or may not result in success. The soil biota not accepting, of course, the fungus, bacteria, protozoan, and all of those denitrifiers and decomposers, mycorrhizal, everything is needed to make a garden successful. And it's an act of care that I think everybody should be involved with. Everybody should experience it just to realize our place in the world. Of course, these are green leafies except for the zucchini. So the onions and the leaf crops won't need pollinators because we will eat their bodies, if you will. But the zucchini will need pollinators. So we planted some flowers, not only as companion plants on the edges, but for the flowers. So we've got nasturtium on the edges. Hopefully that will help feed pollinators until it's time for them to pollinate our zucchinis. Besides the story about pollinators and caring for the planet and all that business. You know, this is also the cycle of life. We take death, decaying dead material, both plant and animal, we compost it, we incorporate it back into the soil to grow plants that we can eat and thrive on and hopefully grow, and who knows, if we're young, maybe reproduce. At my age, that isn't an issue, but I still like to eat. And on top of that, it builds self-confidence. It's challenging to grow in this environment, so if we can be successful, we feel like we've done something. And if it reduces our carbon footprint, then all the better. So this bed is just about finished with amendments. And now what we'll do is cover it back up. As they say in show business, it's a wrap. Here we are, August 20th. 3 months since the first video. As you can see, we're well past the life cycle of the cabbage moth, so the agribon has been removed. And we still have soil temperatures, according to data we've collected over the years, that should be warm through September, but we have declining light levels. So everything is senescing. We've harvested 6 cauliflower, 4 of the lettuce. We've got some yellow squash coming on. And cabbages are heading up. So we'll get a few small green cabbages. I've pruned back the nasturtium on this side. They were just too wild and taken over. So there you have it. That's a wrap for the season. Cheers.